What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today we'll be talking transfers, people, and transfers that don't appear to be happening at the moment. It's starting to feel like deja vu to last January. I can't lie, people. Apologies for turning up late. Internet was absolutely ramping as I was trying to go live. I said, listen, if I go live now, it's going to be wild. 10-minute timeout business, people. But big up to each and every one of you on this Wednesday. And I thought I'd put Patrick Vieira on the background, you know, as we're looking for a Crystal Palace win tonight against Man United. Could do with Vieira wheeling a bit of magic. I will be scouting Wilfried Zaha in that game. I'm telling you, free him, bring him to the carpet. But listen, we're going to talk transfers. And unfortunately, you know, I like to jump in these lives and fill you all with optimism and hope. It's starting to feel like deja vu from last January, people. It feels like Mudryk was Vlahovic. And now all these other alternatives, you know, are they actually going to sign for us? I don't know. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it and see if we can get any of these. Big up to everyone in the comments. Andre, Big C, bless up. Big up Darren. Big up Curtis in the community. London is red. This is what I said the other day. Let's stop with this North London is red. We need to run London. I don't care about North. Let's get North, South, East, West, Central. Run the whole lot of it. That needs to be the ambition, but Contacts FC, we've said this before, if it ain't in Edu's phone book, can he actually make it happen? This is where the pressure is on him now. CU business. Not saying Weghorst is the answer, but Man U identified an area, acted like a big club. We don't have a big physical striker as a plan B. Why can't anyone see this? Yeah, listen, I think when Weghorst signed for Man United, a lot of people were like, Weghorst, Burnley player, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, they've got an owner that's trying to sell. So they were never going to go and spend big in this window when the owner's trying to get rid of the club. And listen, he could be a very awkward player for us to deal with this week. We're going to have to see. He's 6'6". You look what he did against Argentina. It's not an exciting signing, you know, that's for sure. But it's one that could cause problems off the bench, that's for sure. Big up Smash Up for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. We've got another member stream coming up. Starting next week, I'm going to do another one. But anyway, let's get into the transfers, people. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all of that good stuff, people. All of that good stuff. So let's start with a transfer that looks like it's not happening. Interestingly enough, my last video was saying that Arsenal are targeting Trossard. Today we hear Arsenal don't want Trossard. We were kind of in two minds about this one anyway, whether we wanted him or not, but equally it's another one that you tick off the list and it looks like it's not going to happen. Let me just zoom in on it so you can see it properly here. But Arsenal are not planning to join Tottenham in the chase for unsettled Brighton star Leandro Trossard as they line up alternative targets. This is coming out of Footy Insider, which is a little bit of a hit and miss when it comes to transfer stories. But when you read the full story, what they're basically trying to say is that Arsenal are not looking for a short-term player. They're not looking for a stopgap, which, funnily enough, the last couple of days, I've been saying that maybe Arsenal will go for somebody like Trossard at 20-25 million. And rather than going for somebody really expensive who they don't want. But it looks as if they're not particularly interested in him. And it also sounds like, you know, he's had a few problems at Brighton that we've heard about. And, you know, Arsenal, everything with Arsenal is PR, is politics. Are they going to really want to sign a player that is clearly having problems with the manager? Arteta doesn't seem to like having players around that are having problems with managers. And it seems like they're staying away from it. Now, as I said when we didn't sign Mudryk, it's not the end of the world. But honestly, this is just striking me as deja vu. And this is why some people messaged me, you know, the other day. And it was funny. I got a few messages and they said, why was you having such a meltdown about Mudryk not signing for Arsenal if you was never fully convinced with Arsenal? And I did send a few messages back. I said, you know, what it is, Mudryk in isolation, 100 million, fair enough walking away from that. I don't trust Arsenal to go and get somebody else that's going to tick the boxes. They'd looked at him, they'd identified him, they went for him, they failed to get him, and now they seem to be on their heels because we're being linked with different players every other day now. That screams out panic buy to me. And that is not what a club chasing a Champions League spot and a Premier League title should be doing. We should be moving like the big fish of the ocean right now. We should be the great white shark. Instead, it's more like Finding Nemo. We should be rolling down to clubs, kicking off the door, saying, give me your best player. KS, I said it at the time, Felix. And listen, it was 9 million. I had this argument with Robbie. Robbie go, 20 million for Felix. It was 9 million. Yeah, you got to pay 6 million in wages. But in reality, when you sign a player, people don't add up the guy's wages and chuck that on top of the transfer fee. You were always going to have to pay a big wage for him. Should have took João Felix. 6 months, no problem. Go and get who you really want in the summer. But hey, it is what it is. Don't you remember Zaha? Well, allegedly, Smokey. Allegedly, we won't get into that one. But big up for the super chat. I don't want Trossard or Tielemans. Belgium are in the mud. Their players all seem to be drama queens and in a bad spot. Big up Liam. Social Join said Edu messed up. He showed his hand. This is the era of overpaying. Blame Chelsea again. Amara said, Big C, big up. It will be scandalous if we don't sign this January and we lose a grip of this lead. Don't surprised if it happens. Chris said, Big C, if they can't get a new winger, they should recall Nuno Tavares. No joke. Play him as a winger. Keep him away from defence. Man, he's electric going forward. Somebody else said that the other day. I believe there's no recall clause in the loan. Most of the time, when these clubs buy a player on loan for the season, they'll pay a half-decent fee to take him, and usually there isn't a break clause. And from what I've read, Nuno, we don't have a recall option on Nuno, so that one's out the window. And Pepe as well, the same. I was looking into this to say, should we just bring Pepe back for 6 months? But apparently no recall clause in that contract either, so no Nuno and no Pepe. Arsenal are not planning to join Tottenham in the chase for Leandro Trossard. Some people were saying, bring him back, but yeah, that's not going to happen. Janine, thank you for the super chat. Better to buy Matoma than Trossard. Jesus will come back in 1 month. We don't need an attacker. We need a replacement for Partey, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, and Eddie. I hear you. I would still like an attacker though. I just think we don't have that right winger. Or striker, really. I would still like to see a winger or a striker. But I hear you. Midfielder is needed as well. J Dime said, I'm getting that feeling, bro. We've all got the same feeling. We've all got the same feeling right now. Like, we're all sitting there going, how come we seem to be, faffing around, scrambling to sign somebody when we're top of the league? I could understand if we were 8th and a lot of these players didn't want to join us. But we're top, we've got money. But like a lot of you have said, I think, listen, I'm sorry, but I think Edu is a big part of this problem. He showed everybody what we've got. And if you turn up at my door now as Arsenal and you're going, I want to sign your player, I'm going, well, hang on a minute. You've just bid £90 million for some unknown Donny from Ukraine. You think you can turn up here and sign this player? It's just not going to happen. I'm going to ask for 100 million, even if he's worth 60 million. So it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. He's shown everyone his hand. Trini said, I feel like only if a key player gets injured this month, then we will scramble. And it shouldn't take that. It really shouldn't take that. We need players. It's not like we're overruled with players. We need players. We need a winger or a striker. We need a centre midfielder. So, but anyway, people, Trossard is not coming to Arsenal. They are not interested in signing him. The article saying that Arsenal will only go for a player that they see fitting into their long-term plan. They're not prepared to go for some sort of short-term stopgap. And Trossard will not be coming to Arsenal this window. So that's another one we tick off the list. TM101. I mean, it's funny because I was thinking this. Tottenham play Man City tomorrow. Actually, really could do with Man City losing that game. but then I don't want Tottenham to win a game of football ever. So, yeah, I don't... How I'm going to word it is I'm never a fan of them. I just want Manchester City to lose. I'm not necessarily a fan of Nando's, yeah? But I just want Man City to lose. That's the only way I can word it. But yeah, you know how the game goes. We want Man City to drop points, you know? It is what it is. Baba Tunde, big up Big C. Whatever happens when the window closes, it's on the owners. Arteta has shown his abilities. They signed Edu. Don't forget, big up yourself. Listen, this transfer window's got no blame towards Mikel Arteta. He's being hung out to dry. Ultimately, maybe the owners are not giving us enough money up front to go and complete these deals, or maybe Edu doesn't know how to deal with it. A draw, yeah, a draw would be a good result. Tottenham drop points. Conte's having head loss. Yeah, I don't really want them to win. I feel like a draw. Even though we could do with City losing, I feel like I'd rather a draw. Pat said Forest signed Danilo. That signing is gone. Like South London's finest said, the list is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Gunnar Roller said, keep saying it. Our biggest summer transfer will be upgrading Edu. Loved him as an invincible, but he doesn't have the facilities. Do you know what, Gunnar Roller? I think there's an element of truth into that. I really do. And I like Edu. Met him in Orlando. Cool guy. Chatting to all the boys at AFTV. He's cool, but we don't need friends. We don't need a mate as a director of football. I need a bad boy businessman who can go and get players, And for me, Edu, when it's out of that comfort zone of, either the agent is George Mendes or you're Brazilian or you speak Portuguese, he struggles, or if there's a release clause. So for me, yeah, Edu for me, I would put question marks over him in the summer. 1,800 of you in the chat already, people. Make sure you smash the like button. Just to reiterate, Trossard to Arsenal is a Yaya Sonogo. It is not happening. Arsenal don't want him. Tottenham have had a verbal offer rejected for him, apparently. So that's another one. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. I'm telling you, this list is getting smaller and smaller. And another one that is not coming to Arsenal, and I don't think he ever was coming to Arsenal, to be honest. I was sort of trying to speak this one into existence as well. And I'm sorry, people, but again, I know a lot of people were split on this, but I think we should have been in the race for this one. Atletico Madrid are close to completing the signing of Memphis Depay. Deal at the final stages with Barcelona for a fee close to €3 million. I mean, £2.4 million. What the hell can you get for £2.4 million in this day and age in Premier League football? Now, don't get me wrong, £180,000 a week. Yeah, it's a decent wage. But for £2.4 million, I mean, again, I would have been on it. Depay, decent World Cup, 12 goals last year for Barca, 20 the year before for Lyon. I know a lot of people were like, nah, not for me. But what I'm saying is there aren't many good alternatives. If I said, name me a list of strikers now that Arsenal can get in January that are better than Depay, you would struggle to name them that we would actually go and get. 2.4 million for Memphis Depay. For me, I would have considered it. But anyway, it is what it is. Depay's going Atletico to play DM. Depay, no, for me, he is old and not for a future project. I mean, he's 28, though. He's 28. And I think sometimes you've got to have the odd little bit of experience around, Partey's 29. Xhaka's nearly 30. You need a little bit. But anyway, it is what it is, people. It is not happening. Memphis Depay to Atletico, €3 million. He's too big of a personality for Arteta. He doesn't seem to like those kind of big personalities, big egos. Vegas Gunner, what's up, Curtis? I can't stand Edu, but the Kroenkes hired him, inexperienced, and the Kroenkes probably are the reason these deals drag out. You've got to look at it. This is the one bit of defence I will put up for Edu, though. If Edu goes to the Kroenkes and says, listen, I can get Mudryk for €100 million, but I need 70 to pay right now, and I need 30 in bonuses that are easily achievable, and the club go, listen, we'll give you this, but the bonuses have got to be like that, and then his hands are tied. He can't pay money that is not available to him. So it is. I do have to blame the owners as well. I can't just blame Edu, because I do think that his hands are tied a little bit. I just don't think when Edu turns up to speak to these football clubs that he has the respect, that he has the connections, and that's my problem. 140 Glasgow said it's not just about the value of wages, guys like Felix. It's about those wages compared to existing better younger players who've given a lot to the club. Yeah, I hear you, but sometimes if you bring a certain player in, even if you're Saka, Martinelli and that, they've got to realise that, listen, if you're paying big wages, you're giving it to an established player. When we signed Thomas Partey on 200 grand a week and Saka and those guys were getting 50, 60, this is a guy that's been at Atletico, that's won a title, that's played Champions League, been in World Cups, far more established. So sometimes as a younger player, you have to understand where they're at in their career as well. But I hear what you're saying. You make a good point. You don't want to rock the boat. Big C, what's your take on the Georgian wonder kid? I just call him Kavicha because the second name, I'm all over the place. He's outstanding. He's going to cost a fortune. And as I said, the way Arsenal do business, don't bother turning up at Napoli's door and trying to sign anyone. Osimhen, Kavicha, we ain't getting none of them, man. They're saying 90 million euros for this guy. It's probably even more now. They're top of the league as well. Listen, if Edu turns up at Napoli I'm telling you, they'll beat him up. He'll get sent back with a black eye when he starts offering stupid deals. Yeah, we'll give you 30 million if we win the Champions League. That man will kidnap him. He'll be like Goodfellas, bro. But yeah, he's going to be a superstar, that kid. Brilliant player. C-Law said Josh needs putting in a headlock. Everton settings to release the bag. I'm telling you, if things get worse, you know, we can roll back the years. I was a big WWF fan back in the day. You know what I mean? I used to I think my favourite growing up was Ultimate Warrior. When he used to shake on the ropes and that, you know, I have to do that, or we'll give him a little stone cold stunner, a little punching, and then just drop him like that. Be excited, yeah? Just drop the stunner on Josh. Say, spend some money, bro, but hey, it is what it is. Don't clip that, by the way, but listen, they'll never work with me at Arsenal anyway, so who cares? Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, Suplex City, man. I'm telling you, Ultimate Warrior, we don't play no games here, man. We do what's necessary. DDT off the top ropes. It's all mad people. Ezra said Ruben Neves and Ivan Toney. I mean, listen, I've said it time and time again. Those two would be fantastic deals. One problem with Toney, obviously, the case is going to drag until the end of the season. So it looks as if no ban this season, but the ban could come into place in the summer. So I think clubs will stay away from him. Ruben Neves, I think, is gettable, but it's just Wolves are in a relegation battle. Would they be willing to sell him? We need to start looking at Richard Garlick. Big C, the contract man, he better not mess up Saka, Saliba and Martinelli. At the moment, it's Garlick by name, Garlick by nature. This is the guy. I mean, just one thing that came to mind the other day, right? Do you remember in the documentary, last day of the transfer window, Richard Garlick, Edu, high-fiving in the office? Yes! We've got rid of Aubameyang. High fives, they're sitting down. Cheers, well done, Rich, well done. Yeah, you got rid of Aubameyang. First of all, you didn't get no money for him, so you didn't even sell him. And second of all, where was the replacement for him? These men were doing high fives, getting rid of somebody for free. Like, you don't have to be an elite businessman to get rid of an established striker for nothing. High-fiving each other. And I'm like, bro, you just missed out on Vlahovic. What you high-fiving for? You man should have signed someone. So that told me everything about the mentality of these guys. Clueless. Vinay is absolutely useless at this football club. Says PR nonsense. Richard Garlick and Edu, those three for me, and Josh and Stan, they're still all under scrutiny in my opinion. I think Arteta is the one that has risen the most out of those guys. Big up Don Drape, hope you're well, bro. Make sure you go and follow him on Twitter. Does great stuff with the transfers. Says, big up Big C, what about Maddison from Leicester? Newcastle want him. I like Maddison. I just don't think Arsenal will go back in for him. With Odegaard plays a similar role. You got Fabio Vieira, you got Smith Rowe. I suppose you could play him in the Xhaka role, but I just think that link has gone. I don't think it's an area that we're looking at, really. But I do rate Maddison. Nicholas said, hey, Curtis, are you worried about the ref against United? How is Rashford not affecting play? United always have the bloody refs. United have had refs for 10, 20 years, so I'm not going to start worrying now, you know. High five Merchants, man, I'm telling you. High five Vinay. I'm still trying to figure out what this guy does as well. Big C, I read somewhere Osimhen will cost £125 million. We will never pay that. We'll give him like 12 million up front and 113 million in add-ons. You get 113 million when we win the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup and the League Cup all in the same season. Oh dear, it's crazy. Lack of ambition by the Kroenke. Surely it's clear now. We're going for the title with a limited squad and key injuries. We needed signings early to protect our position. They're still shopping. I'm telling you now, if that window closes and we've done no decent business, the Kroenkes are finished at this football club as far as I'm concerned. Because if Arsenal don't win the Premier League this season, it will be absolutely on them 100 million% their fault. Simple as that. Let's move on. Let's talk about a player that we are being linked with. But again, I would say my advice to Arsenal fans before we talk about this story would be approach with caution. Don't get carried away. And, don't watch too many YouTube videos in case it probably doesn't happen. But Arsenal, it was confirmed on Sky yesterday. It's all over the place. It's definitely true. But Arsenal have made contact with Bayer Leverkusen over the possibility of signing Moussa Diaby. The German club do not want to sell this month and valued him at €100 million in the summer. Listen, this transfer market has been absolutely well and truly polluted to the limit. It's like dirty water now, people. It's been polluted. Any half decent winger with pace, with a bit of a 10 goals, 12 goals, €100 million now. Simple as that. 100 million. Now, I watched a report earlier coming from Sky Germany, and they're saying they can't see any way how Leverkusen allow him to leave in January. They're notoriously difficult to sign players off. They stick by their transfer fee. And this guy's got a lot of hype at the moment. The only time you've ever really seen them sell somebody a lot cheaper was Leon Bailey, because he had an average season. His price dropped. They took 40 million the year before. They said 70. But this guy's still one of their best players. They're trying to get in the Champions League. We've approached them. Cool. Right wing, left wing, bags of pace. You know me, I'm a bit of a FIFA merchant. I like 90-plus pace wingers. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. They're a reasonably established German team. They've sold players for big money before. It's mid-season. I just can't see it. I can't see any way how this deal happens. And I hate to burst, Arsenal fans' bubble. I want everybody to have hope and expectation. I just don't see how it happens. And they're not going to take these Klarna layaway deals that Arsenal are turning up to people's door with. If we couldn't get a guy out of Shakhtar Donetsk who's relatively unestablished, how are we getting a French international from Leverkusen who's one of their best players? €100 million. I wouldn't even pay €100 million for him. He's not even... I've watched him a few times. He's decent. He's a live wire. He's nowhere near €100 million. So this is the catch-22 that we've got now. You're going to have to massively overpay for someone. And they've played their hand with Mudryk. Vegas Gunner, what do you know of Inaki Williams' little brother? Would he be worth paying the 40 mil release cut? I honestly don't know enough about him. I know Inaki himself has always been highly rated, but I saw his brother was in the Spanish squad. I don't know too much about him, I got to be honest. High fives, but Barca sold Aubameyang for profit. There you go. We gave him away. They sold him for 12 million. Yeah, our guys were high-fiving each other. Yeah, well done for giving a player away for nothing. Yeah, brilliant. They've destroyed the transfer market, which I'm telling you, this is why I had my meltdown about Mudryk, because I know now everyone's going to go, this Donny's just gone for €100 million. Yo, tell him 100 million. It's crazy. Diaby, in reality, is worth more than Mudryk based off the CV and what he's done in the past. Money does talk. Money does talk. Everyone knows what's in our pocket now. We can't turn up and go, we'll give you 25, 30, 40 million for a player. They go, you just bid 90 million for a player. This is the prop mail. MF, wow, why not get Zaha? I told you, 20 million. Keep it moving.
Go and get yourself listen, as I said before, I'd love to sign Ivan Toney. I think he ticks a lot of boxes. I just get the impression Arsenal don't want a striker. The reason being, in my opinion, is that Gabby Jesus comes back in February, hopefully, and the manager loves Eddie Nketiah, and Eddie Nketiah has done all right in the last few weeks. So I don't think he wants to add a third striker to the dimensions that we've already got. I think he'd rather get a fourth winger so that we've got Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, and whoever the new winger is. It's easier to rotate those wingers, where I think he doesn't want three strikers. And this is the problem. This is the problem. But for me, I would have no problem going for a striker. Solly March is a very, very good player. I'm telling you, Brighton, whoever does Brighton's recruitment is an absolute gem. They find these players. I think he came through their system, Solly March. He's a baller. He's not glamorous, but he's very good. Matoma, Solly March, Caicedo. They got plenty of top players. GM2 said, respect Edu for where we are. Look at where we were 3 years ago. Most of the chat here stinks. Panic mode and short memory. I mean, GM2, listen. Let me add balance. Let me add balance, my friend, because in life, a key thing is balance. You can say panic mode and short memory, but I'm sure you remember last January, and I'm sure you remember the way last season finished. And that is down to what happened last January. Not replacing Aubameyang, not bringing in a midfielder, and finishing fifth and watching Tottenham go into the Champions League. That ain't something you turn your nose up. That is down to the football club and their lack of planning on their recruitment. Second of all, he does deserve credit for some of the deals. Yep, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Gabriel, cool. But on the flip side, Cedric, Pablo Mari, Renarsson, Willian, at this moment, Fabio Vieira hasn't been a success. Sambi Lokonga, giving new contracts to Holding, Mohamed El Neni. So I think you have to add balance. So I'll keep it moving. Thank you for the super chat. But listen, we're a community here. If you disagree with opinion, that's fine. But you don't have to, you don't have to play down. There is balance to that debate. So yeah, GM2, calm down, my friend. Radansky said, recruit the recruiters. I'm telling you. Get the guy from Brighton, man. How close are we really? I mean, how close is close? Remember how many times they go, oh, we're close. We're close to Mudryk. We weren't close enough, obviously. El Neni has been great. I wouldn't say great, Dylan. I don't think El Neni and great have ever been in the same sentence. He's a good stopgap in a short-term squad player. He isn't going to win you a Premier League. If Mohamed El Neni was covering... if he was covering Thomas Partey for a long period of time, he wouldn't be good enough, He wouldn't. Mitoma is a player I like, but again, would be expensive. Arsenal should sign Curtis Shaw. Listen, man, I'm too controversial for them. Big C, we could get Vlahovic or Zaniolo. Listen, man, Vlahovic, I think that ship has sailed. And Jashar said, big up Curtis. Sorry it's too late for Zaha. Go on about your business. Just let him go, man. I'm going to be scouting him tonight against United. I reckon he'll do damage tonight. So Moussa Diaby, 100 million euros. I don't see the deal happening, man. I don't see it. It's sad as well. It is sad, but there are options out there if we're creative enough. But I don't know. We're still linked with him. The story's still running today. But yeah, I don't see it happening. We'd have to pay most of the money up front, and he's not worth it. I'm going to put a poll up. Let's get the first poll up of the day. More polls than a strip club, people. Would you pay 100 million euros for Moussa Diaby? Listen, some of you might just feel he's a live wire, he's a good player, it's not my money, pay the damn money and keep it moving. Some of you will think, I wouldn't pay that for him, I would look elsewhere. For 100 million... would you pay it? Me personally, if you're any good at your job, Edu, you shouldn't have to pay 100 million euros for a guy that didn't even get, did he even go to the World Cup with France? I don't think he did. He's 23, 24. Somebody just asking how old he is. Moussa Diaby he's 23, turns 24 in July. There's no way on earth he's worth 100 million, but it's a polluted market. It's absolutely polluted right now. A bit behind, but Chelsea have signed the guy who's been doing transfers for Brighton. Okay, wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, Graham Potter's going to say, listen, bring the recruitment guy with me. What about Elise? Has a 50 million release clause. I like Elise. And he would fit the profile, really. Young, upcoming, French under 21. But no links to him, man. But yeah, we'll have to see. No, I said Fabio Vieira hasn't been a success at this moment in time. That's not me saying he's been a flop. But at this moment in time, just over half a season, 35 million, it hasn't really happened for him. He's struggling to get in the team. So NR11 said, Big C, it ain't my cash, bro. Why would I care if we paid 100 or 2 million as long as he puts a shirt on? And I hear you, some people do have that thought process. It's not my money, pay the damn money. Could get Podence, Zaha, Tielemans for the same money. I just think with Tielemans, they're waiting for a free transfer. Anyway, let's move on, people. We'll leave that poll up for a minute. Just quickly, and I ain't going to do this one for too long. But did anybody see yesterday the sporting director of Shakhtar Donetsk was talking about the deal for Mudryk, a.k.a. Justin Bieber, signing for West London Blue? Obviously, my Pro Evolution Soccer guys know what I'm talking about. Where before you got the update, North London Red, West London Blue, it was what it was. But it was interesting that he said Arsenal approached Mudryk in October, that Arteta, Zinchenko and Edu had all spoken to him before Arsenal even approached Shakhtar Donetsk. We literally was like, you can get done for that as a football club, illegal approach. You get big fines for that as well. So we did the illegal approach. We got the manager, the technical director, and his international teammate to word him up. We even had Zinchenko's wife interviewing him. We then approached them in December and faffed around. And he said that we weren't decisive enough. And he said Chelsea flew out that day, spent the whole day with them. They had a pre-season friendly. The bonuses were much more achievable. Apparently, some of Arsenal's were like winning the Champions League. Now, when you think we haven't won the Champions League in our history, and one of them was winning the Premier League, a Premier League we haven't won for 18 years, didn't do their business properly, did they? So, anyway, let's get him off the screen. But it's a learning curve, a big learning curve. Mr. Big said, so far, the only January signings we've made under Edu are Odegaard, Cedric, and Pablo Mari. All loans, not to sound pessimistic. Don't see us signing anyone. And Matt Ryan was the other one. So, he hasn't had great Januaries, has he, Edu, when you look at it? How about Kolo Muani? Yeah, I mean, I think they want decent money for this guy. And he looked a bit... He's tall, isn't he? Yeah, I don't know about him. I'm not sure. I'm not fully convinced by him, what I've seen of him. Yeah, it was on an interview on Sky yesterday. Go on, here we go. DV, Big C, I have to call you out on this one. Go on, let's go. How can you have a meltdown about us not signing Mudryk for 90 million, who has played 29, but wouldn't want Diaby for 100 million, who is more proven? Well, let me break it down why. Number one, I'm going off the fact that Arteta's number one target was Mudryk. So if Arteta works or doesn't work, I want it to be a case of you got him the player that he wanted. Whether I wanted him or not, I want you to get the player that he wanted. So that was his number one target. Second of all, 40 million euros of it was in add-ons. It's come out today that they've given him 97 grand a week, which isn't massive wages for Arsenal. So the meltdown is not me. Mudryk to me was any guy. My thing is, listen, give the manager his number one choice. And that's my issue. So now we're going for, number 3, number 4 on the list. Players that, the manager probably doesn't even really desperately want. So that's where my issue is. The money being spent doesn't bother me. My thing is, give the manager the player that he really wants at the football club. And clearly this was the guy that he wanted. So that's sort of where my issue is. Man said you're having to defend yourself on your own. Listen, man, people pulling out receipts on me. But listen, football debate, healthy debate, I'm more than willing to explain myself. I'm willing to explain myself. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give the manager his first choice. Anyway, let's move on, people, before anyone else calls me out. They've spent a week looking at Diaby. Yeah, exactly. Mudryk, 3 months, didn't get him. And, are they going to get this guy in a week? A player that we are being linked with that certainly, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it as it is. It's underwhelming, right? It's underwhelming. Facundo Torres, a player that plays in the MLS. Now, I don't want to come across as snobby here. I really don't. I don't want to act like a snob, because the reality is Martinelli came from the 4th division in Brazil. He's now one of our best players. So it is what it is. It ain't where you start, it's where you finish. But I'm looking for instant impact, like instant. I'm not trying to send you a letter and wait 3 weeks for the reply. I'm sending you the message on WhatsApp. I want to see 2 blue ticks and I want to see typing at the top. Instant response. Is this brother really coming to the Prem and just going to start tearing it apart? I just don't see it. I don't see it. I saw him in the preseason friendly. I mean, apparently there was a conversation before the World Cup and his agent saying he thinks Arsenal might get back in contact about him. Doesn't excite me at all. They're saying £9 million for him. He looked decent in the friendly, but I'm sorry, man. If we're really out here saying, be excited, we want to win the league, we're backing Mikel Arteta, we're willing to break the bank to get him what he wants, and you go from the Justin Bieber lookalike at Chelsea to a guy from the MLS for £9 million. I'm sorry, I'm just, that ain't, you can't get me involved in that program. I don't buy into that one bit, and this is why I said I would have took a Memphis Depay for €3 million, because at least you're talking about an established footballer from Barcelona. This is a madness, and it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal did this kind of thing. It really wouldn't. MLS fits in with Stan Kroenke, shirt sales. Wouldn't surprise me. I made a joke about a broken back midfielder last week. Getting war flashbacks now, says no, man. We could see it, man. Kim Kallstrom on loan to the end of the season. 3,100 in the chat, people. Really appreciate the support. Let's get 2,000 likes, man. If there's 3,000, we want 2,000 likes. Has anyone seen him play on a regular basis? I know we got a lot of people in America in the community. Has anybody seen a little bit more of him than I have? This guy destroyed our left back in a friendly. Yeah, he did look good, but a friendly, is different. Sambi looked good against Chelsea in the friendly as well when he scored that header, but we know how his season's gone so far. Listen, I'm not even slagging off the league. I'm just talking about, is this really the guy that we should be going for? He played for Uruguay in the World Cup. Didn't notice him. Didn't notice him at all for them. Rather call back Pepe, 100%. Instant is Zaha for 20 mil on a 2-year deal. Listen, people need to listen to me with this one. I know where I'm going with this one. When you order Ferran Torres from Wish, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Courtesy's cheaper, a 9 million typical type of Arsenal deal. January sales business, this is off the sale rack. It's not even in our size, but we're saving it in case our weight changes. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a medium, but there's a nice shirt in there in an extra, extra large, and you think, well, when I'm 45, maybe I put a lot of weight on, I'll save it for then. That's how Arsenal are moving. Gunnar Paul said, Big C, we can't be snobby. If we be snobby, the only thing we're celebrating in 2022 PTSD Vlahovic and welcoming Smith Rowe. But I'm telling you, I might do a welcome to Arsenal Smith Rowe video. Our January transfer signing. You'll see that at the end of January if we don't sign anyone. Richard Garlick is supposed to be the man to close the deal. He messed up the Mudryk deal. This guy is not it, said Elliot. It's like Arteta wanting a Ferrari, but instead you settle for a Fiesta. That's where we're going with this right now, people. I'm sorry. Although Bojan said Torres is a baller. Our transfer policy, penny pinching. This is we did what we could in this window signing. It is. Can you imagine? No disrespect to this guy. Can you imagine Arsenal signing this guy? I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't know. This just is not it right now. Yeah, TK Maxx return business, man. I'm very unattracted to this kind of business. It's going to be pointless. Is he going to pull his weight against Nketiah and ultimately Jesus? Wasim with facts. Where's Wasim, man? What's he saying? I know he dropped. Yeah, oh yeah, this is we did what we can. Jared Bowen. It's Almiron was tearing up the MLS, took him how long to settle, not a serious club. And Almiron was at a higher level in the MLS, in my opinion, than Facundo. I knew about Almiron. In fact, I think Arsenal were linked with Almiron. It's took Almiron, 3 years before he started doing the business? This is not it, Arsenal. I'm telling you, this is not it. Stay well away from Facundo. Big up Ali, who said I had surgery yesterday, recovering at home for the next couple of weeks. Thanks for your stream. Get well soon, man. And listen, man, let's hope these transfers can brighten up the mood, man. That is for sure. Let me end this poll on Moussa Diaby and whether you would pay 100 million euros for him. 70% say no, 30% say yes. Jake Snacks it. So we've tried. We tried, guys. We tried. You know, Mikel will say we did what we can. We have to sign players that are willing to join us. It's going to be one of them. It's got it written all over it. AB said, look at those two legends behind. Well, hey. Look at that Donny, man. I'm blocking the biggest Donny out of all of them. Look at him just peeking over the shoulder. What would we do to have one of these three players right now, people? How much would these guys be worth right now? Can you imagine? Man are paying 100 million for Mudryk. Like, can you imagine how much Thierry would be worth? You'd have to sell your whole football club to come and buy him. Diaby is not for sale until the summer. We'll never get anywhere if we move like this. The three musketeers, man, three of the greatest. I genuinely don't know how Patrick Vieira doesn't have a statue, though, if the other two do. Like, he was the captain, the leader, the talisman of the midfield. I genuinely don't understand how Vieira doesn't have a statue. But, hey, we're trying to improve our subs, Kurt. It's not our starting 11. Yeah, but they're talking about 100 million deals for Diaby. That sounds like starting 11 to me. What about Messi? I mean, we'd probably sign Messi's son, mate. We ain't signing Messi. Anyway, let's move on. I'm even suggesting players for Arsenal. So if anyone from Arsenal, because I was told before, you know, that people from Arsenal watch a lot of these content creators to see what the general feeling is. If anyone from Arsenal is watching, just listen. I can sort this mess out for you quick. Here's another suggestion for you. No-brainer, in my opinion. You just want short-term deals. Frank Kessie could leave Barcelona just 6 months after his arrival. The club believe the signing has not been a success and could try and get a fee for the midfielder. Even reports today saying Kessie could possibly leave on loan with an option to buy in the summer. Barcelona have a crazy wage bill at the moment. Obviously, like we've said earlier, they're selling Memphis Depay for 3 million euros. Are you telling me in this window we need a midfielder? Frank Kessie, by the way, was being linked with like big moves when he was at AC Milan. This is a guy who won the Italian league last season, right? Gone to Barcelona. Maybe not quite it. Maybe doesn't suit the Spanish league. Frank Kessie is a tank. He's a tank, people. And Arun saying if he's not good enough for Barcelona, listen, we signed Alexis from Barcelona. Sometimes style of play, manager, you know, there's a player in front of you that's in that position. Signing a player from Barcelona who can't get in the team is not, you know, not the end of the world and Madrid. So, listen, he's not the quickest, but he's a tank, and I would take him. You get someone like Frank Kessie in midfield, good squad player, back up to Partey, can play next to him. Sign Ruben Neves. There's players out there. But the worry for me is that we're not even being linked with midfielders now. Vinay said they will do what Arteta wants to do, and Arteta said they will do what the board wants to do. Make it make sense. That's PR in its finest, you know. Ultimately, they're not going to do what Arteta wants them to do. They're going to do what financially makes sense to them, which is penny pinching. Yeah, don't worry, man. You know the slogan, man, EK. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Frank Kessie on loan. No-brainer. Squad player, experienced, title winner, powerful. No, we won't do that. We'll stick with Sambi and El Neni as backup. That's what they'll probably do. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, people. But yeah, could be going to Inter Milan, which would be interesting. Used to play for AC. Yeah, you know that. No one. No one. Spanish player. Arsenal signed no one. But hey, it is what it is. Paulinho at Fulham is a good shout. Signed him 6 months ago. 5-year deal. Expensive, man. Big up Prem's in my bro. What are you saying? Big up, bro. I agree we need to move fast. Go for Bro, listen, I tell people all the time with Arsenal, you know, what do they say madness is? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I'm at the point now. It's the 18th of January. We got, less than 2 weeks to the window closes. In my head, we're not signing no one. I'm sorry, and I hate to be pessimistic. In life, I'm an optimist. But when it comes to Arsenal and transfers, I am a pessimist. In my head, it is Alicia Keys settings, people. No one, people. We tried to sign Mudryk. Didn't happen. Emil Smith-Rowe's like a new signing. Collapsed later on in the season, finished third. Oh, well, we're back in the Champions League. That was the target at the start of the season. The title was too much for them. We're all dreaming about the title. Of course we are. We're top of the league, 8 points clear. But that's probably what happens. If it doesn't, I'll hold my hands up and I'll happily eat the waffles on stream mukbang settings at the end of the season. But I'm telling you, last day of January, I'm going to announce Emil Smith-Rowe as our January signing. I'll do a video. 5 things you didn't know about Smith-Rowe. Gunnar Roller said, a win on Sunday against United and guarantee the club will ride the excitement till the end of the window. We're signing no one. C Unit. Do you know what? The other day, I said it's a double-edged sword beating Tottenham. Because after Mudryk went to Chelsea, there was a lot of anger and frustration around the fan base. 24 hours later, we beat Tottenham and we battered them, let's be real. So all of a sudden, the Cronkays are going, everyone's calmed down again now. No problem, no pressure. All the pressure's disappeared. We've just beaten Tottenham. Man United at home this week. If we beat Man United at home, they'll go, that's it. End of the transfer window. Do we really need to sign anyone? We made an offer for Mudryk. We inquired about Diaby. We looked at 1 or 2 others. And that's it. Jesus is only 3 or 4 weeks away from being fit, they'll say. Nelson's back in training. And they'll keep it moving. And then they'll start spinning the PR. And the PR is already being spun, by the way. I'm going to get to that in my next story. Big up Gunnar Roller. Ivan said, not going to lie, Mudryk to Chelsea hurt. As a Ukrainian, I don't want my countrymen to flop, but don't want to see him succeed with Chelsea. Big up Ivan, man. And like I said, for me, with Mudryk, it wasn't about me or maybe what a lot of other people thought. It was about the manager's top of the league. He's told you to give him this player and you haven't delivered it. And that is my problem. You know, that is my real problem with the board. I'm telling you, them Cronkays, I'm having meltdowns on the 1st of Feb if they ain't done nothing. Brett said Curtis is too humble about his singing ability. Brett, I've been telling people, you know. Surely I can get through the first round on Pop Idol. What's it called? X Factor. Surely man can get through the first round and get on TV. If I have to really go for them high notes, I don't know if I can make that happen. But, you know, maybe we can get some auto-tune, make me sound like T-Pain. We can make it work, people, I'm telling you. But, yeah, man, people aren't respecting the singing ability. But, you know, I'll prove myself to you. I'll prove it. Sheets of Metal said, anyone confident with no signings? We need a DM. Yeah, mate, the DM. We're not even being... Well, in fact, let me get into the next story, which I believe, and I'm sorry, and again, I hate to do this. This is pure Arsenal, this, right? This Arsenal therapy scheduled for the 1st of February. The PR machine is working. I can see it already, right? Vinay, Richard Garlick, who's stinking out the place, no pun intended. Edu, Mikel Arteta. They sit down, they say, right, we're having a meeting, emergency meeting. Mudryk has signed for Chelsea. Don's drawing out my singing. Man are calling me C-Pain. It's all mad, people. I'm at the bartender. Ooh, you're looking for me. Come on, man. I'll pull out the classics as well. But anyway, let me get back to the meeting. So, Mikel, Edu, Stinky Garlic, Vinay, sitting around the table. Mudryk has gone to Chelsea. They're all having meltdowns on socials. What do we do to calm everyone down? I tell you what we do. We ring David Ornstein. Right, Dave, right. We need you to put out an article in The Athletic. Okay, what do you want me to say? Right. I want you to tell everyone we're signing Declan Rice in 6 months' time. Throw it all over the place. Say it's the main target. We're getting Declan Rice. And you know what? That'll calm all of them down because they'll go, we're getting Declan Rice in the summer. Well, I tell you what, mate. Declan Rice in the summer's too little, too late. It's too little, too late. Number one, I'm not overly hyped about the signing anyway. I would take him. Beggars can't be choosers. But second of all, we ain't winning no title signing Declan Rice in August. Because Man City will be lifting the league if we don't get it together in this month. So I'm sorry, I don't buy into it all. Declan Rice. Arsenal's top target for the summer is Declan Rice. The North London club are confident they will beat other suitors to his signature. Declan PR Ice. You've nailed it again, Nimbo. You have smashed it. Declan PR Ice. It's PR settings written all over it. It's just PR. Yeah, we'll sign Declan Rice in August. Don't worry about this window. Yeah, I think, I don't know what he's doing there. There's some sweet talking going on there. I can't lie. Man said, I'll see you in August. Yeah, David Moyes is going to get sacked. Get yourself to the carpet. Look, I mean, Declan's really holding the back of his head there. It's a tender hug they're having there. Maybe he does join Arsenal, but I'm sorry. Talk to me about Declan Rice in the summer. I ain't really interested in who we're bringing in the summer. Uncle Ben's settings, pilau, jollof, rice and peas, Declan Rice, whatever kind of rice, we'll deal with that in the summer, So this has got, Nimbo, that's a man of the match comment. Again, I can't lie. Declan PR Ice is a legendary comment. I can't lie. I'm still annoyed that Don Arsenal still saying that my singing is not up to scratch. I'm gonna work on that. Gunnar Vettel said, "You're probably right, Curtis. The rumor about Rice came like an hour after Mudryk was confirmed. It's way too predictable. It is so Arsenal. It's so Arsenal. Quick, do something. They're all going mad. Declan Rice in the summer, and everyone. Oh yeah, that's better. And we've beat Tottenham. They don't need to spend no money, man. Pure PR." Curtis, I'm a little concerned with a little Chris, bro. I'm panicking. I'm about to ring the fire alarm. I'm about to smash the fire alarm and get everybody out the building. Why not get him in this window? Expensive, and they're not that serious, are they? PR Ice, baby. Cormac, I can't lie. We got to do a joint man of the match of the award. That's outstanding. PR Ice, baby. Oh my days. I might actually use that for a title of a show one day. 5% for bringing up that. That's outstanding. Basmati rice, jasmine rice. I'm telling you, I'm happy with just some pilau rice, man. You know what I mean? In the packet. Job done. We don't need Declan Rice. I got jollof rice, pilau rice. Anyway, it's the roundabout, as Turkish says. So let's move on from the PR. 3,200 of you in the chat. Great numbers as always. Declan PR Ice. Rice, baby, people. Rice, baby. Something that we do specialise in, though, people. We can do something in the transfer market. Oh, Cormac's asking for 20. All right, we'll meet about 15. We'll do 15. Inflation, man. I can't go 20, Cormac. I can't lie. I've got bills to pay, and the heating's got to go on right now. We can do 50% of the transfer window perfectly. In fact, we don't even do that perfectly because we get rid of players for no money. It's like they don't know they're supposed to get money for players. Fulham are closing in on an agreement to sign Cedric Soares. Mixed feelings on Cedric. Met him in the petrol station. Seemed like a really cool guy. But second of all, I could never believe that we gave this guy a 3-year deal on 70 grand a week when he was about to be released by Southampton at the end of the season. It made absolutely no sense to me. Somebody said earlier in the chat, I don't want to sign a player that doesn't get in the Barcelona team. We signed a player that wasn't getting in the Southampton team. So, I wouldn't panic about us not signing or trying to sign a player from Barca. We're giving man 3-year deals from Southampton on 70 grand a week. So, Cedric, good to meet you, bro, in the petrol station. But damn, Fulham awaits you, bro. Fulham awaits you. Now, according to the report, it's not clear yet whether it will be a permanent deal or a loan with an obligation to buy. But Cedric's on his way. They need a right back. I would say thank you for the memories, but there haven't been too many of them. Apart from saying hello in the petrol station, to be honest. He had a half-decent cross, but he was... these are the this deal. Let's be honest. Let's just say it as it is. That's all we do in here, right? We say it as it is. This deal's got brown envelopes written all over it. Someone's got to say it, and I am going to be the one to say it, right? Raul Sanelli was at the club. 3-year deal for a guy from Southampton. It had brown envelopes written all over it, right? Simple as that. I'm not here to cap. That deal had backhanders written all over it. It had more backhanders than a Nadal v Federer Wimbledon final. I'm telling you, envelopes all over the place. Anyway, Alberto said we need signings or else it's Arsenal therapy. I've got a horrible feeling February 1st, there's going to be meltdowns. And I'm telling you, signing a guy from the MLS is not going to fix that if they think that Facundo Torres guy is going to solve anything. Cedric's robbed a living. I mean, listen, the game is the game. I respect it. How have you pulled out a 3-year deal at Arsenal after getting released by Southampton? Your agent must be a magician. Big up my bro Broads. He said brown envelopes because it's got ish on. Yeah, all over it, bro. All over it. Edu's business network. Balancing the books. I'm telling you, this was a tax write-off deal, this one. But anyway, all the best to Cedric. And yeah, not a lot I can say. He'll probably go on loan because when do Arsenal ever actually sell a player for cash? It's like we don't accept cash. We're turning down cash and just giving them away. It's wild. Anyway, another player that we're being linked with. Sheets of Metal said, what happened to the 60-70 allegedly for Mudryk? Probably didn't even exist, bro. Probably didn't exist. Sometimes football is so interesting, right? Then the dynamics, and clubs will sometimes make an offer for a player and not actually want the offer to be accepted because they just want it to look like they were trying to do business. To be fair, I think they thought they could get Mudryk, but as soon as Chelsea turned up, it weren't happening. What do you say to Cedric? I had a nice chat with him. He's a cool guy. So, someone just said there, I've missed a comment. Oh, stop hating on Cedric. He put a shift in. Well, he should put a shift in, mate. He's on £70,000 a week. Do you know what I mean? Does your boss tap you on the back at the end of your shift and say, well done today, mate, you put a shift in? No, he doesn't. He wants to see results. Put a shift in. He should put a shift in. He's on £280,000 a month. You know what I mean? I want more than a shift for £250,000 a month. I want production. So, yeah. Did you tell him to stop the cross? Nah, none of that business. He doesn't hardly play to say stop the cross. Yeah, I have called him Cedric the Entertainer at times as well. So, yeah, maybe it was an awkward handshake at the petrol station. Anyway, let's talk about this guy, people, who we're being linked with today. I mean, we're being linked with it. We've gone, do you know what? We've scooped back and gone back to previous transfer windows. Another thing that I used to say was link with everyone, signing no one. And we're at that point again. I'm going to talk about 30 players before the end of this window. Every day we're going to be linked with about 5 different players. And if we're lucky, we'll get one of them. But in reality, we probably won't get any of them. Broad said, did you read what the Shakhtar chairman said, bro? Chelsea literally came in like they were top dog. I mean, we were doing illegal approaches to their player. And we then turned up and put bonuses of winning the Champions League when we've never won the Champions League in our history. Chelsea turned up on a private jet, spent the whole day with them, did a pre-season friendly they've arranged, and dropped the bag and left. They left the same night with the player. But, you know, trust the process. We got to trust the process, I'm sure. That's what they're telling me. Zaniolo. Arsenal are interested in signing Roma star Nicolo Zaniolo during the January transfer window. The Italian outfit are said to be open to selling him, with a potential move costing between 26 to 35 million. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore with this club. I really don't. They're just throwing links all over the place now to try and stop us from panicking. They're just trying to buy time. I mean, this guy, he's an attacking midfielder, can play on the wing as well. I'm looking at his stats and I'm like, am I supposed to be excited by this? I'm going to have to show you his stats, because if we sign this guy, I mean, I've only seen him play a few times yet, but... And I want to show you this guy's stats if this is what we're really looking at. I mean, this is his Serie A stats. He's an attacking winger. I mean, are we supposed to celebrate those kinds of stats? And I'm not a stat merchant. You know, I am a great believer in the eye test. But stats do count for something. I'm supposed to be excited by a guy that last season got 2 goals and 2 assists in 28 games. He got 11 yellow cards. He got 2 red cards. He had as many red cards last season as he did goals. And like, when I've seen him, he ain't a bad player. I can't lie. But them stats are stinking out the place. And he's got 1 goal this season and 4 yellow cards. What's going on with this guy's discipline? 8 yellow cards in 18-19, 8 in 19-20, 11 in 21-22. He's already got 4. He's getting more cards than goals. I'm sorry, man. People saying in the chat he's decent. Them stats are stinking up the joint. No wonder Mourinho wants to bin him. Mourinho ain't stupid when he bins a player. Mourinho said, I can't cope with this guy. He's getting red cards, more red cards than assists. So, yeah, if you think them stats are going to excite me, then, you know, they're not. 6 million said Camavinga is a player I would monitor over Rice. That fee is crazy. Not getting minutes. There was a rumour he could be available. I love Camavinga. I think he's incredible, but whether he gets the chance at Madrid or not, I don't know. Charles said our handling of transfers and business is something to be desired. You've put that politely, Charles. You've put that politely. Thank you for the super chat, though. Kamani said, I'm opening my windows. I'm telling you, get the windows open. Although it's a bit cold if you're in the UK, people don't. But if you're in a hot country right now, open the windows, because Arsenal are stinking out the joint right now. They are stinking out the joint. Zaniolo, no. There we go. Zaniolo, no. I'm supposed to get excited about a winger that got 2 goals, 2 assists, but got 11 yellow cards and 2 reds. I'm sorry, people. You might as well... Well, you can't even do that, but you might as well get Pepe back if that's the case, you know, and you can't even get Pepe back anyway. But Tammy said, I've got better stats than that. I'm telling you, you probably would if you played that. Apparently, he's had 2 ACL injuries. I mean, you can't get... I mean, it would be so Arsenal, wouldn't it? No wonder Mourinho's been in him. 2 ACLs, 2 yellow cards, and 11 yellow cards. It's got red flags written all over it, that has, by the way. I mean, just as I'm on stream right now, Sky reporting Chelsea are leading the race to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton. It's not fair. I'm going to be honest. It's not fair. It's not fair right now. We're top of the league. We need a midfielder. Caicedo would be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. Chelsea are 10th, nothing to play for, signing all our targets, and still they're in talks with Brighton about signing Caicedo. I mean, why are we moving like we're so broke? We're moving like we don't have anything to spend, like there's nothing in the pocket. It's crazy. It's just crazy. The financial fair play is a joke. There's obviously ways around it and loopholes, and they're finding all of them, you know. Caicedo would be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. And they're talking 70-odd million for him, but it's mad. It's absolutely mad. Caicedo has low wages, go get him. I was reading this report the other day that with It does say there's 3 Premier League clubs interested in him, but they're probably not Arsenal. I read this report the other day that when you sell a player in financial fair play, the amount of money that you get for that player goes onto your books straight away, even though the payments are spread over a number of years. But when you buy the player, it's the other way round, and it goes on how much you pay for that player each year. So in effect, you could buy a player for 100 million, but pay 20 million up front. It would only go down as 20 million for that tax year, even though the player has cost 100 million. Where if you sell a player for 70 million, even though you might only get 10 million up front, it goes down as 70 million on your books. And I was reading this thing that Chelsea had sold, they'd sold Tammy Abraham, they'd sold the defender to Crystal Palace, Mark Guy or whatever. They had about 100 million in income last season. So, for example, Mudryk is 100 million, but they might have only paid 40, 50 million up front for him. So they're manipulating the market. And because Chelsea are so good at selling players, they might get 50 million for Tammy Abraham. That might enable them to go and buy 2 players for 150 million because they've only paid that 50 million up front, if you know what I'm trying to say. I hope you're staying with me there, people. No, I read it because I was like, how are Chelsea managing to spend 250 million in January and 250 in the summer? There's loopholes. They've sold a lot of players for big money, and they're not paying huge amounts of money up front. So there's ways around it, which is why I don't understand why Arsenal are acting like they can't buy anybody. It doesn't even make sense. Mohammed said, I just watched Moussa Diaby's skills and goals on YouTube. It's a no from me. Don't want him. Explosive pace. Can't see much else. If you're watching a man's clips on YouTube and still saying no, then clearly you're not happy, because that's them at their very best. Kamani said, thanks for the clarity. However, even if Chelsea break it, they'll be fined 10k. Yeah, they'll manipulate it. They can sell players. Conor Gallagher's being linked with a move now. If they were to sell Gallagher, what would they get for him? 40, 50 million? England international, went to the World Cup. That 50 million would go on their books straight away as income. You know, they've got loads of... Ziyech will get sold. Pulisic will get sold. Hudson-Odoi will get sold. That's how they balance it. They actually have a business plan that works unbelievably. They cherry pick all the best young players from Europe. Their youth team is stacked with players. They loan them all out. A couple of them get in the first team. Mason Mount, Reece James, Conor Gallagher. The rest of them, they sell them for high profit. Gallagher will get sold. Tammy Abraham, Mark Guy, and other players. And that's their business plan. And it works. It genuinely works. And I'm surprised other clubs haven't tried to do it over the years. Let's have a look. Stephen's coming for me in the chat. Once again, you're always overreacting. I have faith in Arteta and Edu. You always think a player suits our play style. Stop having a love affair with Chelsea. We are top. Chelsea, you're worse than League One. Oh, Stephen. Do you know what? I wish I had your faith, Stephen. Your faith, Stephen. By the way, he's getting a 3-minute time. In fact, you're getting a permanent. You're getting the permanent. But listen, your faith, Stephen, and I respect your opinion, even though I don't really, but I'm going to say I respect it. Your blind faith is the reason why we haven't won a Premier League title for 18 years. And the reason why we've never won a Champions League, because of that kind of stupidity that he's saying there. You trust everything that the club say. I haven't banned him yet because I want him to hear the response before he disappears. But that kind of foolishness is the reason why Arsenal are standing there watching Chelsea lift Champions Leagues, you know. But anyway, you know, trust everything that the club do. You can support a club but still realise that some of the stuff they do is nonsense. But anyway, Stephen, enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, Steve. Take care. All the best. All the best, fella. Top man, top man. There you go, Steve. That's you done, by the way. Blinded by the propaganda. Come on, man. Don't come in with that foolishness. You can call out opinions, but don't come in like that. Man came in like a runaway train. You got to walk in with caution when you start calling man out. Man came in, kicked off the door, you know what I mean, with a shotgun in his hand. It's all mad. But Biggie, listen, I don't mind. But Abdi said, respect Curtis from a Chelsea fan. Hey, don't, he's saying I'm a Chelsea fan. Mark said, end the stream, Steve. Man took over from Dave. Man said, end the stream, Steve. End it. Cheers, Stephen, though, fella. All the best with your day. Before we get out of here, I had one last bit of... I had one last story. Where have I put it? Right, here we go. We'll try and leave on a positive note. Steve's trying to put a dampener on the day. It's all mad. Right, here we go. This is a funny one as well. So, this next one, it's not really the way I should end the stream, but I am, because this would sum up Arsenal to the greatest degree. It's a good job Stephen's not in here. He would hate this story. So, according to this, Mikel Arteta wants his next Alexander Zinchenko this winter. Ivan Fresneda. Yeah, you've heard of him. Of course you have. Well-known player. I'm Googling him right now, by the way, just to find out who he is, because I haven't even heard of this guy on FIFA. And I've packed a lot of players on FIFA and quick sold them, and I actually haven't heard of this guy. His name is Ivan Fresneda. He plays for Real Valladolid. He's 18 years of age. He's a right back, and apparently they think he's got a great future in midfield. How typical would this be of Arsenal? Again, let's go and sign a right back who's 18, who's only been able to get into a nightclub for about 6 months, and play him centre midfield as cover for Thomas Partey. I mean, Ivan Fresneda, a midfielder masquerading as a right back, so he's hiding his midfield ability at right back. Analysis of position and why Arteta wants him, balancing a transforming Arsenal defence. Fresneda, never heard of him, don't want him. I want proper players. If you're signing him as a long-term prospect, cool, but make sure you make proper signings as well, because I'm sorry, this ain't acceptable if they think they can pull out signings like this. He's only been in the first team for a year. Naturally, he was, he's only just turned 18. So, Fresneda, Ivan Fredo. I've got a Fredo, people, from the shop. They're probably about 50p now, Fredos. Weren't they about 10, 15p when we were younger? But anyway, yeah, Fresneda. Fresneda is a monster, trust me. He'll lead us to the title, people. He'll lead us to the title. An 18-year-old right back. We're going to play him in midfield and win the league. Pep won't know what's hit him when this kid turns up. Let's just get that off the screen. Southern Gooner, the clock keeps on ticking, still waiting on quality bodies through the door. Haven't you heard, Southern Gooner? We've made a massive, massive signing this January. His name is Emiliano Smithinho Ronaldo, a.k.a. ESR, a.k.a. the Croydon De Bruyne. That is our trademark signing of January. I'm sure you must have heard of him. That's our signing. Inverted right back. Let's go and sign a right back, 18-year-old, and unleash him. ESR, that's our new signing. Ronaldo, man. Ronaldo. Come on, man. Hey. I'm short with it, people. Big up Stephen, though. It's a shame he wasn't here to see this. He might have appreciated that one. But anyway, people, I am out of here. 3,200 of you in the chat. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will be back tomorrow. I might do the watch along tomorrow. Actually, we got Man City, Tottenham. That was the stop the cross game last season that went viral. Actually, they thought I was a Man City fan because I was having a meltdown. So yeah, I might do that one tomorrow night. But I'll be back at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And, we'll be linked with about another 20 players that we probably won't sign. Linked with everyone, signing no one. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it, people. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Come on, Patrick Vieira. Which shoulder is it? Vieira. Result tonight. Zaha, man of the match performance. Bring him to the carpet. Casemiro, get that yellow card. If Casemiro gets gets a yellow card, he's suspended for the game against Arsenal. So, Casemiro, yellow card. We will be celebrating that. Edu really is the new 50 Cent of the Premier League, people. He is the ultimate window shopper, people. Edu, you a window shopper? Mad at me? I think I know why. Bless.